name is Muller, and I have been here at Rivermont since 2000. I was adopted at the end of 2000 when I was about 3.5 years old, and this is where I grew up. So I remember growing up in the children's program, going through Sunday school and all that. And then once I hit my more adolescent years, I entered into the youth group, and I spent a lot of my time there, hanging out, learning more, and understanding what more it meant to be, I guess, a believer, and more importantly, a member of Rivermont. I did my confirmation class, and I really wanted to understand why being a Christian was so important. I remember asking a lot of questions, not really understanding the answers, but that definitely planted a seed further into my heart of why being a Christian was so important. Once I graduated high school, I I stayed within the church for a little while, and then I guess I wasn't really sure of what it meant anymore. So I remember I walked away for a little bit and took a break, and then about 2020, right before the pandemic hit, I became more involved helping out in the youth group, and whether it be with Sunday school, with small groups, and that sort of thing. And that's what I've been doing for the last couple years, and kind of seeing where God has planted more seeds and helped me grow my faith, especially, and just seeing how His grace has abounded over the last couple years has really encouraged my heart, and just understanding that being a member isn't just about going to church, it's about being a family and getting to know others relationally, and how important the Bible really is in my life. One thing that brought me back to the church was, or specifically to Rivermont, is I remember I tried going to a couple of other different churches just to kind of see, what else was out there, I guess. And I remember sitting during the service and thinking, this isn't what it's supposed to feel like. This isn't what church is supposed to be. And so I came back to Rivermont, and after being there for a couple weeks worth, getting back into the routine and seeing old faces and meeting new people, I kind of realized that this is where God wanted me, because they opened up their hearts and their arms and just welcomed me back, and just realizing that I think this is where God wants me. This is where God has my heart. Growing up, I always knew that I was adopted, and one thing that I could really relate to, especially in the church, was how God adopted us as His children. My parents didn't choose me based on my abilities, what I could bring to the table, my talents, my faults. They saw me and they said, "That's the one. That's who we want." And God does the same thing. And so, growing up, that was really easy to see, because God doesn't choose us based on what we can bring to the table, how good we are, what bad things we've done. He sees us and He says, "You're my child." And that was a really easy concept to understand. One thing I love about being at Rivermont is the capacity to serve. There are many different places in this church that need helping hands and helping hearts. And one place that I found where I could help out was in the youth group. I spent a lot of my time as a teenager there, and just seeing the amount of love and effort that was poured out, not just by our youth pastor, but also from the families that were involved. And so I wanted to be a part of that. And so when I came back to Rivermont, that was one of the first opportunities that was opened up to me. And so I took it. And one thing I love about serving there is just getting to see these kids, seeing them grow in the love and knowledge of Christ, and just seeing them become people who love Jesus. There are always other places where we can serve, and one thing I look forward to as moving forward as a deaconess in the church is being able to have that capacity opened up even more of how I can serve, not just in one place in the church, but wherever I'm needed in the church.